And these were all purchased based on lies and deceit.
If these walls could talk, we could just imagine what was said here.
This luxury penthouse may look sunny and inviting today, but just 3 years ago, its somewhat unusual and definitely dark history was actually scaring buyers away. You don't have to be super rich to recognize the name of its previous owner.
Wow. The house that Madoff built, or at least the penthouse where he lived.
Exactly, isn't it? I mean, it's beautiful now. I have to tell you, when he lived here, it really was just a little creepy.
Creepy is right. It's the former home of the infamous Bernie Madoff, the man behind the $50 billion Ponzi scheme that rocked the world of the super rich back in 2008.
This is where Bernard Madoff spent the last few days of his free life, here in his office.
When Bernie went up the river, the U.S. Marshal seized the place and put it on the auction block in 2010.
We are in the master bedroom, Bernard Madoff and Ruth Madoff's master bedroom here in the penthouse.
But Madoff's mansion in the sky was more of a haunted house, and some buyers weren't too sure they wanted to call Bernie's old stomping grounds home sweet home.
And we hope that dark cloud has moved on.
But instead of seeing ghosts of Ponzi past, one couple saw a great deal, and they placed an $8 million bet on the 1927 pre-war 4-bedroom co-op.
I don't know how Patsy had the eye, to be honest, with all the curtains and everything in here kind of closed up. Don't look at me.
What is all this?
These are everyone's good wishes to the owners.
And the writing on the wall says it all. Good karma in, bad karma out. And now 4 years later, Dolly believes this home's past is more of a blessing than a curse.
This was Bernie Madoff's apartment, and I have to tell you, I think it's a positive selling point.
Why is it positive?
Because it is going to be always like a trophy property,
right? Because
it was his apartment.
So is it less like a criminal and more like a celebrity in terms of there might even be a premium because Bernie Madoff?
He's sadly a celebrity.
The now divorced couple that literally brought Bernie's place back from the dark side was Patsy and Alfred Kahn. Mr. Kahn made his money on lucrative licensing deals involving some toys you've probably heard of: Cabbage Patch Kids, Pokemon, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
It was dark. The colors were dark. Everything about it was dark. It was almost a premonition. I mean, it was just not right.
Right.
And then you get here now, and it's light and bright and modern looking. It's not loud. I don't think it even was loud then.
Yeah.
And I don't think he did a lot of entertaining here.
Not a lot of happy social dinners in this dining room.
No, not a lot of happy, even unsocial dinners. Exactly. This is a kitchen that the new owner uses, has completely freshened up and changed the appeal of. Under Madoff's tutelage, this kitchen was clearly a kitchen for cooks and housekeepers.
So this is kind of an urban grill. It's got charcoal briquettes there. What is that for?
I guess that's where Bernie cooked his steaks.
Or cooked his books, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of books,
so here's the library.
This still feels like, again, the place where one of the greatest financial frauds could be hatched in this room.
And this was his library.
Yeah.
Okay, so he spent apparently most of his time here. If these walls could talk, we could just imagine what was said here. Now I'm going to take you into the inner layer.
Ooh,
okay?
The inner layer.
We're going to go into the master bedroom.
The chamber of secrets for Madoff.
It's okay now. It's been totally redone.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful. She put the silver on the ceiling. I mean, she made it a beautiful room. The wood-burning fireplace, always wondered whether or not that was convenient. Throw all the papers in there and burn them up.
There's a fireplace in every room.
Yeah.
If you wanted to burn papers, for instance, wherever you were, you could do that.
not too many people have ever seen Bernie's black porcelain throne, let alone have a chance to sit on it.
This is exactly how Bernie Madoff's bathroom was when he lived here.
It
and
is.
He designed it.
Take a seat.
And it's all black. So this is Bernie's toilet.
This is Bernie's toilet. How does it feel?
The view from Bernie's toilet. I'm kind of soaking it all in.
Yeah.
It's regal.
And think about the personality of someone who would want everything
Black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of interesting. It really speaks to who he was.
Bernie's bathroom. Wow, I never thought I would get to do this, but
Yeah.
here I am.
You want a wipe?
This is amazing.
So the terrace goes the entire length of the building. So
Holy
this is
cow.
quite a big building.
I mean, the Madoff moment for New York was our version of a financial, earthquake.
This was the epicenter
This was
of
it.
the financial earthquake.
For a buyer, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, exactly. It's something to talk about.
Yeah.
Something different, because clearly the buyer who can afford this can afford anything.
So let's talk about price for a minute. The current owners, the Khans, they bought this in 2010 from the auction from the federal government for around $8 million.
Correct.
What are you going to sell it for?
Well, we're asking $17,250 and have already rejected offers well above 8. You know, they really, not only did they change the karma, they changed the entire look of the apartment. Nobody can believe this is the same apartment.
But is it worth twice as much 3 years later?
You know, we're gonna see.
Some of the super rich love super bling.
This shop here is 10 years old now.
Meet the king of bling, Jacob Arabo, the founder and chairman of Jacob & Company.
There are people in this world who collect beautiful jewels like this.
He's also known as Jacob the Jeweler, but don't call him that to his face. He hates the nickname.
The Jacob piece is supposed to make you smile.
What kind of clients come to the store?
But we have actors and actresses, sportsmen, and regular people.
Yeah, regular people like Madonna, David Beckham, and Beyonce. Some other fans of Jacob's jewels include Jay-Z and P. Diddy. Over the years, Jacob & Company has earned quite the reputation for outrageous watches. Most of these one-of-a-kind pieces will cost you 6 or 7 figures. I'm trying to imagine who would buy and wear a watch like this, and I can only think of maybe Elton John.
You would wear this with jeans and a t-shirt on the weekend. This is beautiful.
Really?
I think so.
Okay.
There's over 375 diamonds in the watch.
How much are we talking about?
1.6 million.
Size matters to the super rich. Bigger is always better when you're talking about diamonds and watches.
The center stone is a 90-carat vivid rhomboid-shaped diamond.
This next watch is not the biggest of the bunch, but what it lacks in size, it makes up in sex appeal.
This we call the Caligula. And
Caligula?
The Caligula. And
Now I'm afraid. Anything named after the sex-crazed and violent Roman Emperor Caligula, it's a little bit scary.
Erotica has been a very important part of watchmaking history from when we first started with pocket watches.
Really? Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Pocket porn. Secret Lives of the Super Rich is about to get X-rated, or super sexy. A few years ago, 26 erotic watches hit the auction block in Switzerland. The sex-filled timepieces fetched over 750 grand, with one Chinese collector taking home 10 XXX watches. This stuff is so graphic, we had to blur most of it out. And this is cable. This watch from 1880 shows some guy who looks like Casper, the really friendly ghost, and a couple having an intimate party with their pooch. Today's blinged out erotic watches like Caligula could be worth millions, but the raunchy images inside, priceless.
Where it gets fun is you pull out the crown, and then at the same time you move this dial, and this plate spins.
Wow. Okay. Wow. What the? Wow. That is quite a watch.
We've produced this watch in rose gold and white gold, only 69 pieces each.
Seriously, 69 erotic watches. Wonder how they come up with that number. And who's gonna buy a watch like this?
We already have a number commissioned. We have people coming who want their wives, who want their girlfriends. The regular rose gold and yellow gold are $69,000 retail. This one is one of a kind because it's the pave triangle diamonds throughout the whole dial and case, and this is 1.6 million.
1.6 million.
Yes.
But if I wanted a regular Caligula watch with my wife or girlfriend inside, I could get that for under $70,000?
You can.
And when you're spending a small fortune on an erotic watch, you might as well go all the way.
We're the only brand I know of that's doing that today.
I bet you are.
But it's really an important part of the tradition of watchmaking.
Yeah. Interesting. I had no idea. The event in the collectible car world is in Pebble Beach, California. It's called Concours d'Elegance, and it's like the Woodstock for super rich car collectors. You've got awards, you've got cocktail parties, and of course, big money auctions.
At 720,000, 720, 730 now. Sold your car, sir.
There are more than 1,000 cars on the block this time, and more than 100 cars are expected to fetch over $1 million. But for today's super rich collectors, 10 million is the new million.
This is a 1967 car, so it's 46 years old.
This car does not have a middle-age crisis going on, I can tell you that. There's only room for one car at the top of the food chain, and Ferrari is king. Maserati, Lamborghini, Aston Martin, all ride in the shadow of that iconic prancing horse. Wow! David Gooding is CEO and founder of Gooding & Company, the leading auction house for collectible cars. I took a ride with David to find out why Ferraris have such a unique cachet among the super rich. Right now, the market for vintage Ferraris is red hot, and the rarer the Ferrari, the better. So how many of these are left in the world?
I believe there are 12 or 13 left.
All right, please don't hit anything.
Yeah,
these are endangered species.
This is very rarefied area.
David tracks down some of the rarest, most expensive cars on the planet and brings them to auction. David has a knack for finding the rarest, highest quality cars in the world. On the block this time around, our ride, a 1967 365 California Spider that could fetch more than $2 million.
What made Ferrari engines so darn good? Well, you know, they were race-proven engines.
Holy cow! Now we're cooking! By the way, we're cruising on 17-mile drive along the Monterey Peninsula in California. This gated Pebble Beach community is so private, non-residents have to pay a toll just to use the road. You got the ocean, you got a convertible Ferrari.
This is everything that you think of with California.
Yeah! There's been a boom in collectibles. The wealthy are looking for tangible investments that are increasing in value. Over the past 2 years, prices for collectible cars have jumped 40%. And Ferrari prices? They're up 50% and sometimes even more. Now this car 10 years ago, what would it have been sold for?
Probably $600,000 and going up in value.
Not many things in this world have quadrupled in value that are this much fun.
No, exactly.